I just had a vision.
And what did you see?
One race slaughtering another. It was almost as if they enjoyed inflicting pain by just killing their enemy.
Hello everyone, 24 here. So in this video we're going to look at the Haaken. Before we start, however, I feel I need to clarify that all the information comes from a Stargate video game, Stargate SG-1, The Alliance. Like most of other Stargate's failed video games, this was supposed to be canon, but was never finished, leaving the story somewhat in a weird area. Though, there's stuff about this game that also makes it head-tilting when it comes to canon, as it's set during the 8th season of Stargate SG-1, but Jack is still a member at this time and he's still a general. So for right now, let's label this as unconfirmed canon and move along with the topic of the video. Also, because we have very little info on the Haaken, I'm not really going to have sections on biology, society, technology, etc. Basically, I'm just going to list all the information we have on them. So, who are the Haaken? The Haaken were an ancient proud race existing around the same time as the Ancients. However, their relationship with the Ancients is a bit confusing. From what I can gather, the Ancients stepped in to help the Haaken by gifting them technology, but I've also seen evidence the Ancients may have enslaved them. This might just be a depending on your point of view kind of story. Regardless of what had happened, the Haaken had gained the technological secrets of the Ancients, to which the Haaken corrupted these gifts and used them to launch a reign of terror across the galaxy, ravaging races such as the Asgard, Furling, Nox, Goa'uld, and many others. At first, the Ancients were indifferent to the Haaken's reign of terror and didn't do anything to stop them, but eventually they did finally decide to move to stop them. This happened around the time the remaining Asgard, Nox, and Goa'uld came together to fight the Haaken, which I don't know what's scarier, members of the Ancient Alliance teaming up with the Goa'uld to defeat a more powerful threat, or the Nox actually seeing the danger posed by the Haaken and actually doing something about it. Before the Haaken's final strike, however, they mysteriously vanished from the galaxy, to which we learned that the Ancients had created an artifact that had imprisoned them, though they never really go into details on how exactly this happened. During the events of the video game, Anubis had freed the Haaken, somehow, to gain even more understanding of ancient technology from them. But their alliance, oh that's where the name comes from, was tenuous at best. Anubis didn't trust the Haaken and sought other parts of the artifact used to imprison them so he could bind them to his will. He also made a plan to use this artifact to imprison the Ancients themselves in their ascendant forms. And that's pretty much it. Like I said earlier, this game was never finished. There do seem to be incomplete copies out there that you can play, although I don't know how you would gain access to them. If I had to guess how the game would end, I'd probably say SG-1 would defeat Anubis and the Haaken would be locked away again. There's a few interesting things we can glean from the Haaken's story, however. First is that the Haaken show why the Ancients had such a set rule about non-interfering and sharing technology. Though there is some irony in something, Oma opposed the sharing of their technology with the Haaken, but later on when Oma began helping others to ascend, the other Ancients began giving her flack over it. Which, I don't know why, I just find that funny. Second, is this may be an explanation as to why the Ancient Alliance fell apart. At some point I want to do a video about that topic, but this could be a reason. The Ancients had uplifted this race and they tore the galaxy asunder, and the Ancients didn't do anything to stop them. Their allies had to team up with the Goa'uld of all people to try and stop the Haaken. Third is the Haaken may have been responsible for the extinction of the Furlings. You might have noticed the Furlings were one of the races that were ravaged by the Haaken's reign of terror, but when the remaining forces came together to stop them, the Furlings were missing from their roster. It may be, and this is just my theory, and we have to remember this is if we consider the Alliance canon, the Furlings were either driven to extinction or into hiding by the Haaken.
The history of my people was burned to ash along with our world. Forgotten even by those who destroyed them. Now, only the smoke remains. We were not the first, nor will we be the last. It is the way of things.
Finally, and I know people are going to point this out, if the Ancients stepped in to stop the Haaken, why didn't they do it with the Goa'uld? Well, thankfully Jack O'Neill did my job for me.
Well, the Goa'uld have just taken their place. Why don't you stop them?
The Goa'uld are nothing next to the Haaken. The Goa'uld have no defense against ancient technology. The Haaken freely wielded this power. They are brutal beyond compare.
Yeah, well, I don't see the difference. The Goa'uld kill a lot of people too. You should have done something to help those people, and you should be doing something now.
I have paid a price for my involvement in this. I could not save those people, but I helped save countless others, which is what I am still trying to do.
So that was the Haaken. I have to say I kind of like the idea behind this race. Not only is their design pretty cool, although it's kind of hard to tell with these graphics, but their story is really interesting. A race that ravaged the galaxy so badly it makes the Goa'uld look good in comparison? I kind of like this, and I'd love to see them do this in Stargate at some point. The only problem I have is I think the Haaken story kind of doesn't really work with our current understanding of Stargate's history. But I don't know, you can retcon stuff. Also, I should note, Alliance's lore may be different than World's lore. There may be a way to have both games kind of flow with each other, but I honestly don't know how I'm going to do that. Regardless, what do you think of the Haaken? Do you like them? Would you like to see them be brought into Stargate's universe properly one day? Or should they remain in this failed project, better left here? Tell me your thoughts in the comments below, and maybe leave a like and subscribe. And remember...
So let me see if I get this. Anubis has broken an evil race out of jail that you put them into, and can now, with their help, gain information about ancient weapons.
Jack,
Now wait a minute, I'm just getting to the good part. With these ancient weapons, old boy Newbie can whoop ass on the galaxy at large, and there is nothing we can do about it, right? But then again, why should you? It's not going to affect you.